Hello, here's my living in Boulder vlog update for I think it's the 4th of December 2022, Sunday, and it's 8:20 p.m. That's when I was born, 8:20 p.m. Today I was working until like 6 in the morning or something, and then I fell asleep. But then I got up at like 9:30 or something, or no, I got up 10 or something, 9:30, 10. Like I was awake. And I was like, oh wow, do I get to skip a night of sleep today or something? So I was working for a couple hours. But then I fell asleep again at like 12:30 or something like that. It was before I managed to turn on the lights. I need to remember to turn on the lights in the morning. My plants, and I think my animals appreciate it. But next month when I get more money, I want to buy more of these little pots, those little guys, and just fill every single square inch. Put one of those things, and maybe even more lights later on. One up there. But I already maxed out my credit card. It's like the beginning of the month. I paid the minimum, and then I tried to buy something because I had $97 of free points. But one of the things I couldn't get because I maxed it out. But I was able to get the other things. So it was the glow ring. So I don't need a glowing ring. I'm fascinated with anything that glows because it's the future. It's new technology they didn't have before. I saw dudes skateboarding down the road tonight with little glowing wheels on his skateboard. Or not glowing, lights on the wheels. So, yeah, lights everywhere and glowing. That's what I want to do. So, today I got lights for the toilet. And then that's what I came in the mail today because I ordered it yesterday. And then something else. Oh, yeah, I got a glowing shower curtain with this big red and yellow eyeball to put over my bikes because my birds, these little Tweety birds, have been shitting all over my really nice bicycles. And it also gets on the nice floor. So, yeah, I finally today put that up. Then I realized it's going to block the light to the plants in there. They're all going to die. Just after I put that, I was like, oops. I was thinking, what am I going to do? Like, put another auxiliary light under? I don't know. Well, I guess I'll just have to take those plants out. But, I have the top of my cockatiel cage open. Just to give the cockatiel a chance to fly if he ever wants to. He's smart enough to know when it's open. But yeah, I don't know if they're going to perch on top of that cloth. They probably liked it more on the bike. But anyway, yeah, so today, but then I got up at like 4 again or something. I was working, and my mom called at 5, wanted to go out to dinner. So we went to Chez Thuy. $26 for the whole thing for both of us, to stuff both of us. It's the best bang for your buck restaurant, and really healthy and tasty. Salmon and eggplant and rice. Yeah, took forever to get it, but it was a nice place. We were hanging out and talking and stuff. I can't remember what we were talking about. I'm kind of high, I guess, but last couple of days I've been listening, or yesterday I was listening to Titanic stuff because I was listening to all these people in their interviews. I'm a junkie for listening to survivor interviews and witness interviews for famous incidents. I want to hear about all of those. But yeah, right now I'm just watching a video about on BBC, I guess, a documentary about the Victorian age, just bouncing around. Because it's Sunday, and I remember when I started on last Saturday, I said to myself, when I started the Fauna Boulder Fauna page. Yeah, give it a week. Don't worry about trying to do book a day and all that, because for the first half of the week or more, like I was having to research, copy and paste all the information about all these animals, and then I had to kind of do the legwork at the beginning, because what I'm doing is super time consuming, ambitious, and like my goal is to finish something on my website, which I can't do. The last thing I tried to finish was my history page of Google Earth, but I don't think any of the links even work on that yet, even though I was working on it for like 2 months. And I didn't burn out on it, but I guess I migrated. And to over to here, because it's a more basic page. And so if I give the entire month until the end of the year, I think it's possible, well, to at least get the page to the next level. Can I finish it? I'm hoping that maybe I could finish the Rocky Mountain National Park section by the end of the month, end of the year. That's my goal. So, let's see if you can do it. So I guess it gives me 5 weeks, because this is the first week at the beginning of the month. Because what I'm planning on doing is how many animals are in the Rocky Mountain National Park. Because I'm like, I think it's genius. But I have a feeling that I'll do it, and then people will be like, even after I do it, they'll still be like, why? But then that's when the fun part starts. That's when you get to explain people the obvious. It's sketchy when you explain people the obvious, a stupid person or a stupid, mean-spirited person, because at first they don't get it. So then you explain it to them from the beginning, and then all of a sudden they get it. But before they get to the stage of appreciating you for making it or explaining it to you, they jump all the way to, now they're pissed at you for explaining to you something that's so simple, and so you're talking to them like you think they're an idiot, and so it's your fault. That's how ridiculously simple the concept is, but I honestly don't think anybody's thought of it, because like I Google, and they go, how many animals are in Rocky Mountain National Park? My 2 little ferrets are around. And then somebody answers the question. There's like 60 species of animal. That ain't the question I'm asking. Because think about it. What is a superpower? If you're going to have a superpower, you could have super strength, you could have immortality. But what's a superpower that's real, that you could actually give people? A realistic superpower. X-ray vision. And that's what this is. Same thing. Dealing with probabilities. So, what I'm saying is how many animals are in Rocky Mountain National Park. Not how many species, how many animals, including all of them. And so I think it's possible to do it, because you just do the best educated guess that there is to our knowledge. And then you do a snapshot of that, and you call it good, So that way if somebody goes up and they're like, motherfucker, I went to the Rocky Mountain National Park, and I went to that exact dot where you said that there was going to be a raccoon, a mountain lion, and there was no mountain lion there. Well, it's because it's just a snapshot of probability. You happen to be there at a different time of the year than the one that I did it. Right? Because it has the same exact, think about it, has the same exact realisticity. What I'm building, if you're looking at all the animals all superimposed at once, so you zoom into any part of it, and you can see all the different animals that are there, from all the different species, like literally every animal. It's just as realistic as if you were a god floating over Rocky Mountain National Park in your space body with your X-ray superpower, looking at every single animal. It's the same realisticity. The only difference is if you're the god, you're looking at actually where it is at that moment. But if you're looking at the same number and whatever, wherever they are, it's the same realisticity. They're just at, doesn't matter where they are. It's just the averages, you know. So that way, it's like why wouldn't you want that's literally X-ray vision. Why wouldn't you want that? Obviously, you would want that. So the question is it worth it? Well, if you could build the whole thing, I would say it's worth it a month. You know, you have to think about, because a lot of other people, because I've been having this conversation with my mom. A lot of people would think that you're stupid, like I'm stupid, like I have a mental problem for just working all the time on stuff that nobody should be interested in, like all the animals. But if you're making it something that everybody should be interested in, then everybody is interested in it, and then you're the only one to build it. Obviously, it's worth it, because then, if once I get to that level, once I finish all the stuff I set out to do, and it's all stuff that doesn't exist, by the time I decide to finally live like a kid and like just mountain bike every day, have fun every day, I can do it with a clear conscience, and I can do it, and so I can enjoy more and get more joy out of it, you know. Whereas if I was and I had this exact conversation with my mom, like yesterday. Whereas if I was like, say, a professional athlete, and you're supposed to have fun with that, and you have like a whole career at that, there would be a nagging feeling in the back of my head that I'm not one of the elite. Like, because you have to be, because it should be obvious. You're one of the elite if you're doing something to change the trajectory of a planet that's dying, and we only have like 30 years left. And you know, there's so many people who think the world is going to die, who then don't do anything about it, and that's like that's the worst type of person. I can't be that person, and I can't be the person who just, because I'm too fortunate, you know. I can't be fortunate and then take my personal fortune and just live like a kid. Then I'd feel like I never grow up. And you look at all these other people who are doing things, they're clearly better than you. But if I could build a bunch of stuff that should exist that doesn't, and so then I'm the only one to make it, like all the animals on Rocky Mountain National Park, I'd bet a gazillion dollars that there's nobody else out there doing that. But it needs to be. Then I can, and I think I'm even to do it on my website. I'll make like a chart, a certain number of points. This got me this point. So once I get to like 1,000 points, 1,000 bodhicitta points, 1,000 good karma points, then I can wash my hands and I can like be like, okay, I did my part. Now I'm gonna live now. And so anyway, so I'm going to, but I think I can, and it's also another thing that motivates me with my site. Oh, fair, I just bit my foot. Is if I can build stuff as fast as it interests me. So it's like riding a wave, you know. So because as I'm building it, I'm learning, right? But if it gets too tedious, then I'm not learning, and that's when I need to move into like listening to an audiobook and stuff. So that's what I'm trying to get through now, is finish that, finish this page. And so the first week was getting through the hump. And so the most difficult, I think, I'll get over the hump once I get through the raccoon and the elk. And the raccoon is another interesting ass thing that I was thinking about. Raccoons is this crazy animal that we don't know enough about. I just found out that like raccoons are only native to the southeast of America, like, you know, up to like North Carolina and stuff. But now they're everywhere. And like, I saw a raccoon a couple months ago in my tree, like 20 feet from where I am at right now. I saw 5 raccoons, like 4 or 5 coming down, and The last one, I was actually at the door looking at him. He paused, and we were looking at each other like 10 feet away from each other. And I hear them fighting all the time. But so all of a sudden, I guess they follow humans. They live where humans live, but they also live in the woods. And I saw some studies, and there was some woods. Man, I can't remember where, but I guess they're the regular woods, like the ones because the raccoons live out here, where it's 15.5 raccoons for a square kilometer, which square mile, which means there's like 3,700 in Rocky Mountain National Park, because they would live at all elevations. So they strike me as the ultimate survivor and the ultimate like smartest animal. They can use their hands like fingers, and they can even sense. They have all these sense pads. They can see with their fingers. And I realized, like, if humans were to die, it would be raccoons that take over the world. Like, there's enough lifespan in our sun to keep the earth alive long enough for raccoons to evolve into humans that could fly around the space, like take over the world again in human form. They would just have evolved from raccoons. Because we evolved from shrews, but shrews aren't nearly as badass as raccoons. Like, we'd be superhumans. We'd be humans who could see with our fingers. We should make like sci-fi movies about raccoon people. So I'm thinking, like, are there really that many raccoons in the woods? Because then they'd be really good for the environment. Because if they weren't the ecology, because if they weren't even out here before, how did they even not manage to grow if they're that adaptable? But if they're up in the woods, and they'd feed the other animals. But anyways, even if there's not that many raccoons, I wanted to draw it anyway, because, you know, I'll just draw it first, and if somebody says they're sure that there aren't, I'll let the Park Service know about my website once I'm done. And if they wanted to, they can comment. But I think I've done a pretty good job of placing stuff. I already did 1,000 of the individual Albert squirrel. And then for the other squirrels, which there's more, there's like a squirrel per square kilometer. There's like, it would end up being like 10,000. So it's too many for me to do individually. You know, there's a limit somewhere. It'd take me like a week to do that. It wouldn't be worth it. So I'll do up to like 4,000 or whatever. 3,700 raccoon I'm doing, and maybe I'll be done tonight. And I'm also doing the elk. There's like 3,250 elk, and I'm doing all of those individually. Because one of the reasons that I want to do it individually is because I'm also doing it like the exact location. I did 360 bighorn sheep, and or was it the pronghorn sheep and bighorn, and I put the exact herd size at the exact herd location on all the herds, and I'll do their ranging, their central lick, and all that. But so I'm doing the same thing with the elk as close to my ability, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job. Certain percentage is single, and then 10, 15, and 20 size herds, and then the 400 herd at the top, and like another 100 herd. So, and 30 within Estes Park, even though that's not in Rocky Mountain National Park. And yeah, so I think I'm doing a pretty good job. So once I'm done with the raccoon and the elk, I'll be done. I'll be like over the hill. And then, but for those extra squirrels, there's like a zillion of them, what I'll do is I have a numbers visualizer tool that I did for my battle, my timeline and stuff, that goes up to like even like a million or a billion or whatever. And so I'll just put the number of it. So if I have if there's like 10,000 some type of squirrel, there's like 5 to 6 different squirrels or something, then I would just get my 10,000 dot that shows all the 10,000. I would expand it to the size of the habitat, where all 4 corners are within the habitat, but it doesn't take over the whole thing. And then maybe with it individualized to that, where I would just cut out the extra ones, and so it would be the square with and have it the exact number just by cutting out the corners, and then put that on, and that shows how many there are in that section and that habitat and the other one, and that'll be good enough. So I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be done by the end of the year with all of it, and then I'll know exactly how many there are. So that'd be cool. Punch that in. And then I was even thinking, but I don't think I'll do it. and maybe a couple of the trips that I have, because I'm going to do Google Earth on all the bicycle trips and different trips you can do. Like on a certain trip, like Boulder to the top of Longs and back, like how many of each animal do you get within a quarter mile of in that trip? That'd be kind of cool. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm up to. And um, I got on Black Friday, I got like 120. I got an ounce of weed for like 130 bucks or something, and I'm on my third of fourth weeds. I started it early this morning. I have one more of these, and then yeah, so we'll see how long that lasts. But I need to take a day off to do work on my house because I've been kind of slowly buying things for my apartment that I haven't had time to put up. I still have hundreds of like glow stars to pin on my TV, and then I need to do glow paint that I can do. Of course, my deck and all these lights, two rolls of lights. My little water fountain. Tonight or tomorrow, I'm gonna get a little plug and glow bulb. I got a electromagnetic levitation light up there that I didn't zip tie and stuff, like all this stuff. So I let my life get ahead of me because I've been working so hard on this. But even since before I was working on Fauna, like before when I was doing history. So anyways, yeah, I'm on a race to get to the end of the year to see if I can finish the Fauna, because not just the Google Earth, but the website. So yeah, in a few days, once I get to a milestone on here, maybe after I, maybe like today or tomorrow, after I punch in all of the exact locations of all the elk, 3,250 elk, including 1,500 and under 9,000 feet, from 8 up to 9,500 feet is when they graze in the winter. 9,500, 11,500 was they graze in the summer. Although above 11,000 is where I put my big ass herd, because I know that they graze above that, even though some hunter sites said that they graze up to maybe normally. But I was up on Trail Ridge Road a couple years ago with Kirsten, and like 4 or 5 years ago with Kirsten, can't remember. But there's this walk path at the very top that you walk up to the top where there's this cool rock formation. And there were elk all over the place, dude, up there. I remember seeing them. And then I was looking at these dots, and I was pretty sure those were the elk. That's what gave me the idea of just going ahead and put the big ass herd up there, because I remember reading that there were herds of 400, and that the herds at the top are bigger, so they can kind of get bigger as they coagulate at the top. So I wanted to create that illusion that they're all kind of like wandering to the top where there's nowhere else to go, and then they all group there. But I'm trying to, with my Google Earth, I'm trying to make it realistic, but I'm also consciously trying to space out the animals so that you can see all of them individually when you're zoomed out, and you can see the entire area. It all covers evenly all the animals. And I think that's how animals work out anyway, how nature works out. They all magically space themselves out evenly. So that's how also, it's kind of like a balance between trying to be realistic and put them all near the river, but also making them spread. So yeah, anyways, I did download it, upload it yesterday, but I mean, you don't have to download it and check it out, because just wait till the end when it's all individually downloaded from the website. Because I'll break it up and have all the little different files individually downloadable from the website, so it's easier to manage that way, because if you download the whole file onto the cell phone, and I think this is the problem, this is a glitch that they haven't worked out on iPhone yet, Google Earth on iPhone, is that if you download the big ass file on your phone, like everything automatically downloads activated, and it also doesn't download the images, so all the images are just X's, so that's kind of defeats a lot of purpose. But as far as the other stuff, like the polygon stuff, it all comes activated, and it needs to come unactivated so that you activate what you see. Otherwise, it's just this mass of insanity that you can't decipher. So, and I was trying to unclick it all, and it wouldn't let me. I was there for like a half hour waiting for my mom in her house the other day, just sitting there trying to unview. Like, okay, I don't want to see it, and it would like unclick where you wouldn't see it, but then you would see it again, and it was just futile. So there's no use. You can't download a big file because it won't unview. It's a glitch on the phone. But hopefully next year or the next year, I have a 10, maybe the 13, but no, I don't think it's just a software. But anyway, by the time I'm done with my website, I'm sure they'll have their glitches out. But it doesn't even matter because it works out really cool because when you can download the individual images, you can just look at my site on the phone, on my website. And then you just download, you look at it and what there is, and you just download it individually from my site, and it downloads, and then you just click that. And so that's how you do it. So you don't even have to download the whole thing. But anyway, but it just kind of looks cool on the phone when you do download it all because you can expand the folders, make the folders smaller, and scroll down, and it shows the whole thing. It looks really cool. And when it does, and when you do click the ones where you do want to see all of it, that's really cool because I clicked on like the central island of Atlantis, and then it just shows the whole central island. You're like, oh my God, that's so cool. So yeah, anyways, I'm super looking forward to seeing how it works when it's all uploaded on the website. So yeah, hopefully by the end of the year, that's what I'm gonna that's what I'm gonna go for. So, and if I'm not done, at least by the end of the year, it'll be like definitely worth checking out. So, anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna get back to work, smoke some weed, maybe listen to music. I just had an energy drink because we went to soup dinner, and then my mom was gonna get like gum at Walmart, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I got a Red Bull because I get high off those, man. I just sit here and I like drink it, and then I have like a caffeine, but I have the coffee. I need to get in the habit of making coffee, and I even bought like almond milk the other day to make it really tasty instead of. I finally gave up on powdered milk. I thought it was really smart for doing powdered milk with cereal and coffee because it's cheaper. But powdered milk is disgusting. It doesn't taste good. And like, yeah, they would never sell it at the supermarket. So I guess people don't like it. I remember when I was a kid, I thought it was disgusting. I never ate it. So I'm just cheap sometimes like that. So anyways, so yeah, I will get back to work and stay tuned, man. I'll try to do a video a day, but so the reason I wasn't because I was just like always working. But yeah, my prediction is the end of the year is my Fauna page, dude. It's gonna be worth looking at. So and I have a month to do it. So let's see. Alrighty, and I'll keep you in touch as I progress throughout the month, every day. Only they won't be a half hour. This was just really long. 'Cause whenever I don't do a video for like a 5 or 6 or month or a week, I kind of make up for it by doing a half hour long video. All right, talk to you tomorrow.